There are many reasons people move to new countries, but arguably the most common one is to find employment. Doing so is not simple though, primarily because many natives have no desire to see people from other countries moving to their shores. Additional problems for people immigrating for work concern socioeconomic factors, including immigrants' education levels, their inability to find suitable employment, and their medical history and criminal past. Many immigrants may also not assimilate into their new countries as they tend to suffer culture shock and cannot handle living in a new culture. Overall, moving to a new country to find work is at best a difficult proposition and at worst an impossible one for most individuals. The main difficulty regarding immigrating is that most countries do not permit it to be accomplished easily. While the majority of nations allow foreign workers to come temporarily, being able to move to and live permanently in another nation is much more difficult to accomplish. Countries such as Canada and New Zealand have strict policies concerning how foreigners can become permanent residents. They have lists of preferred professionals, such as doctors and engineers, who receive priority. The main reason for this is that these nations have no desire for new arrivals to become burdens on their social services. Instead, they want newcomers to be hardworking, tax-paying, and productive members of society rather than unemployed deadbeats that consume large amounts of government funding, while producing little in return. As a result of policies such as these, most people wishing to emigrate should possess a high level of education. Yet even those with good educations may not have their degrees recognized in the countries they wish to move to. For example, most doctors moving to countries in North America and Europe from other parts of the world must take special exams to prove their medical skills and knowledge. And anyone lacking a university degree will find it difficult to be accepted as a permanent resident. These individuals must also have a clean bill of health. And people with serious pre-existing medical problems, such as cancer and AIDS, will find it practically impossible to become permanent residents in most countries since those nations do not want sick people who will require expensive medical treatment. This is especially true for countries such as Australia, Canada, and New Zealand as well as most countries in Europe, where healthcare is paid for by taxes. Another impediment concerns people's criminal pasts, as anyone who has ever been found guilty of a serious criminal offense will likely be prohibited from moving to a new land. Nevertheless, despite these barriers, many people manage to qualify for permanent residency and find themselves legally in foreign lands and with good jobs. For many, their problems are just beginning though. Language barriers are serious issues for people who lack fluency in their new country's language. If a new arrival does not fully understand the language in the new country, accomplishing basic tasks may present difficulties. While English is used as a first or second language in numerous countries, English speakers have trouble in some places since not everyone can speak the language. In some cases, the parents might have a grasp of the local language, but their children may have to enroll in schools despite not knowing the language well enough to study in it. In Toronto, Canada, the school board has to organize special English as a second language classes for the large number of foreign children who live there, but do not possess the language skills necessary to be fully educated. On top of all these problems is the strong likelihood that newly arrived permanent residents will suffer from culture shock. This term encompasses many things, but, in essence, it is a general negative reaction one has upon leaving one's own culture to live in another environment. Sensations such as homesickness, anxiety, depression, frustration, and fear frequently overwhelm new arrivals, who feel that they do not belong in their new land and wonder if they erred in moving to it. For some, the sentiment never goes away, so they wind up returning to their homelands to places that are more comfortable.